I'm feeling like I should have came down here with my ice skates. The ice down here is in perfect condition, so maybe later. And if I can dig it up from the archives on YouTube, I created this fun video a couple of years ago. I'll just keep it a secret for now. Almost done with the walk. Definitely need a stretch. But then later this afternoon, I think we're coming down here on the ice. Good morning, everybody. John Ashworth here, the Fitness Nomad. I was reading a book recently. It was actually by the author of the Dilbert cartoon, How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Succeed. And it's a good book. It's got some good stuff in there. He's got some decent advice on health and fitness. He kind of simplifies it down. He talks about the systems that work for him. And one of the things that he talks about, which I agree with, one of the most, if not the only personal metric that you should track is your personal energy level. Where is your personal energy level? So that's the topic of today's video cast. There's a few things we're going to do here, but it's Thursday morning. Might not be morning for you, but that's okay. It's Thursday morning, and I've had a busy week, and I've been up late some nights working on the virtual platform, and up early other mornings seeing clients. I'm a little bit tired. I'm a little bit lethargic, and I'm going to share with you the strategies I use to boost my energy level. Number one, a nice big glass of water. 12 to 20 ounces of water first thing in the morning. Now, I've had my coffee, so I'm a coffee drinker. I have one latte, maybe two a day, but usually just one. And so I start with that. Now I'm a coffee drinker, so I've had one homemade latte already with a little bit of soy milk. So that gets some calories in the belly, which helps. The coffee, of course, helps. But I'm not going to rely on coffee all morning, which is, I know, what a lot of people do is they'll just keep drinking coffee and hope that their energy level improves. I once heard Dean Ornish say that drinking too much caffeine is like borrowing time from the future. And I think that's a really good point, because what happens when you drink caffeine is the system revs up, you block a certain hormone in the brain, which then gives you more energy levels. So you're disrupting your physiological system, your heart rate increases, your blood pressure might go up a little bit, you feel more energized, but somewhere down the line you have to pay that back. So instead of drinking coffee all morning, we're going to start with water, and then we're going to have some breakfast. Laura made a nice pancake and sausage breakfast this morning. And you might be thinking, pancakes, John, that's a huge carb load. And you're right, and that's another one of the points that Scott Adams makes in his book is, which foods give you energy? I'm going to have 2 small pancakes with jelly instead of syrup and 1 sausage, and that's going to be enough along with my water. And then I'm going to make myself a pot of tea, and then we're going to go for a walk. So here we go. Okay, here it is, just so you can get a look at it. 1 small sausage, couple of small pancakes, got a little bit of the Smart Balance spread on the pancakes, and like I said, I'm going to spread jelly on there. I'm not going to have syrup like the kids have. And it's a turkey sausage. And here's the thing about the pancakes. They are whole wheat. They have oatmeal in them. They are healthy pancakes. It's still a lot of carbs, so you still need to be careful. And I know that if I eat 2 and I have 1 sausage, and you add what I had in soy milk for my coffee, that's a pretty decent breakfast, and I'll have a snack in a couple of hours. So I'm going to heat these, and then we're going to go for a walk. Done it hundreds and hundreds of times, and there's different versions of different lengths, and you'll see the map. I'll share the map with you as part of this video, and I'm going to make a decision when I'm out about how far I'm going to go, because the next thing we need to do is stretch. My body is tight and needs recovery from the workouts, but that will also energize me. So when I get out and get going, that'll tell me about how far I should go before I come back and hit the yoga mat. Here we go. All right, we extended it a bit, probably a little too far, especially with just the shorts on. I took off without my sweatpants, and it's 25 or so degrees, so it's not bad. And it's kind of a beautiful day. It'd be nice to see the sun. But here we are, Westmoreland Park. The ice is in. The park is in full winter mode. Walk almost complete, and we're going to get some good stretching in when we get back. All right, at this point I can tell you energy level, it's at an 8. We'll see how long that holds into the afternoon, and if it holds until my afternoon siesta at around 2 or 3 when I lie down for 20 to 30 minutes to re-energize myself there, we'll be good for the rest of the day. I'm at an 8 easily, maybe approaching a 9, and I'm going to show you real quickly 3 of my favorite stretches. Wide stance stretch, and if you've been watching these videos for a while, you've seen this one before. So think of your body as a series of spindles that go inward and outward. You know, the muscles that internally rotate the hip and externally rotate the hip, for example. If one set, for example, if the internal, or let's say the external rotators in the hip get tight, like, you know, from driving and keeping your foot in this position, that's going to tighten up the glute and all those external rotators, which is going to narrow the space in your back, which is going to lead to back pain. So one of the reasons I love this stretch is that it really hits the internal rotator, the adductors, all the muscles on the inside, the muscles that internally rotate the hip. And so if you come into a nice wide stance, don't force it. You can put something in front of you if you can't get down this far, and if you haven't been stretching regularly and you're over 40, almost guaranteed. Put something in front of you to hang on to it. Come down. Always breathing, of course, reaching around to the outside of the left ankle and then around to the right ankle. You don't need to hold this if you don't want very long. Generally speaking, the longer you hold the stretch, the better. But, you know, you also have to kind of just go with how you're feeling. So I'd spend a couple of minutes going from center, side to side, lifting my toes, coming up on the insides of your feet, as well as actually good strength work for the inner thighs. So that's number one, the wide stance stretch. Number two is, of course, the downward dog, but more specifically, the casual dog. And what that means is we're going downward dog, hands down, pushing your heels toward the floor, trying to lift your butt up into the air and get that normal curve in your low back. Pardon my shirt here, it's a little short, but we'll just have to live with it for now. The casual dog is one foot. You come onto one foot and you put the other foot behind that foot, so it looks a little more casual. And this is just a really nice, intense, more intense stretch now on that left leg. And I can just feel the tension draining out of my body when I do that. And so I'm going one side and then the other side. Oh man. Learned some great stuff on the foam roll yesterday. Kirsten, one of the trainers at Harbor Athletic Club, gave a little in-service on the foam roll. So I learned some really good techniques there. And the reason I'm bringing it up is that I can really feel the benefits in my calves right now, which my calves tend to be pretty locked up. Being able to run fast and jump high is great, but it comes with the side effect of having tight calves. There's a lot of fast twitch muscle fiber in there. All right, now number three, and we're talking about my three favorite stretches. The next one is the lunge stretch, and this is just coming up into a lunge position and thinking about on that back leg, lifting that hip as high as you can. And again, if you need something to grab onto here to take the pressure off, that's perfectly fine. And then you're thinking about lengthening out the hamstrings here, internally rotating my right hip to take the pressure off my hip flexors, and just lengthening out. You take a deep breath there, you'll feel a nice pull up into your abdomen, even all the way up into your abdomen and hitting that hip flexor. Remember, getting the hip flexors, the muscles that go across your hip here, especially the psoas, getting that one to relax or to loosen up is sometimes more of a slight internal rotation of the hip versus pulling a tighter stretch. You got to be careful because it will react later and get tighter. Same thing on this side, lifting this hip, coming into the square of your right knee over your ankle, lengthening out the hamstrings here, internally rotating slightly that left leg. And if you can't quite master that concept right now, don't worry about it. Just enjoy it. Take a couple of deep breaths here. And see, the hips will want to open up this way. See if you can get those hips to come square. One more deep breath. Good. And then the fourth one, if I can add a bonus stretch, is to straighten this leg and feel the glory and work within your limitations. So if you need to get your hands up on something, even if you're way up here, this stretch can also be done from this position, but it's a really nice way to hit the bottom of the foot, the calf, the hamstring, the whole kinetic chain in the leg. Enjoy. My energy level is so much higher now. It's a few hours later and I had the luxury of time in my home office this morning, so that was nice. Looking forward to the rest of my day. Hope you are too. See you tomorrow.